Hello and welcome to the Grand Sports Center, the Friday edition, the last edition for the week. So it promises to be as exciting as ever. I'm always happy to be here with you and giving you the latest in the world of sports and also analyzing them to ensure that you're kept abreast at all times with what is happening in and around the world of sports. I am Donald Agbavobo. For today, we have quite a bumper package on the menu. We shall be looking at the Golden Eaglets, who will be playing the semi-final of the WAFU Zone B on the 17 qualifiers against Burkina Faso later today. And we have the news that Senate President Ahmed Lawal has charged the team to go all out and do the nation proud. Also, from the Nigerian Professional Football League, Abia Warriors coach Amapa Kabo has been given a 3-match ultimatum to reverse the fortunes of the side or be voted out. Abia Warriors have not won any match in the 4-week-old Nigerian Professional Football League, and they have been having some very, very poor outings. The last time out, they lost at home to Chicago Golden Stars in Umuahia, which was very, very poor. So the management of the team have said that he has 3 matches to reverse the fortune or he is shown the door. Rivers United have finally confirmed the date for their rescheduled CAF Confederations Cup second leg first round match against Bloemfontein Celtics of South Africa, and that match will be taking place in the Republic of Benin at the Charles de Gaulle Stadium on the 23rd of January. Olympic 100 meters hurdles champion Brianna McNeil has provisionally been suspended from athletics after being charged with breaching anti-doping rules. So these are not the best of time for Brianna McNeil, who also had served a doping ban in the past. So we may just be seeing some very, very serious problems for these top athletes. Australian Open Tennis Championship, Andy Murray, Madison Keys test positive for coronavirus. Just another, so many players or coaches too have withdrawn from this tournament already because of concerns as regards coronavirus. We understand that even Rafael Nadal's coach, Carlos Moya, will not be going there with the world number 2 because he wants to stay with his family over concerns coronavirus. So we shall be looking at this development. Retired Premier League referee Mark Clattenburg has admitted that referees actually favored Manchester United during the time of Alex Ferguson. When Alex Ferguson was in charge of Manchester United, it was rumored that referees actually had a soft spot for Manchester United, and Mark Clattenburg, a retired referee of that era, has come out to actually clarify that it was actually true. Arsenal's 4-match winning run has been altered by Crystal Palace. They were held to a goalless draw at the Emirates yesterday. And of course, Real Madrid too suffered a rare loss as they were beaten 2-1 by Atletico Bilbao in the Spanish Super Cup race. So they will not be playing the finals. It's now going to be Barcelona versus Atletico Bilbao in the finals on Sunday. In basketball, Houston Rockets have traded star player James Harden to the Brooklyn Nets. James Harden has been the top scorer in the last 3 seasons of the NBA, and you will be surprised why would the Houston Rockets be trading one of their top players. But then Harden in recent times has come out hard on his teammates, on the team generally, saying that they're not good enough for the NBA title. So probably they had differences, and for the sake of peace, they had to part ways. Well, we shall be looking at these and many more on the program, plus Super Eagles Watch, where we give you an update on the outings performance of Super Eagles players as they do their thing out there in various leagues across the world. These are more for you on the program, so sit back and relax as we try to spice up your day with this very interesting edition of the Grand Sports Center. I'm joined in the studios today by Blessing Bassi, and we shall be doing it together. It's a 2-man approach we'll be taking today, not the usual 3-man approach.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, and so we shall take a short break, and when we return, we shall go straight into the main issues of the day. Welcome back, and we'll go straight to Togo, where the Golden Eaglets will be taking on Burkina Faso in the semi-finals of the WAFU Zone B on the 17 qualifiers. And given the lifeline that they got following Cote d'Ivoire's victory over Ghana, this represents an opportunity for the Golden Eaglets to actually show Nigerians that they are good enough to go all the way. Senate President has already challenged the players, encouraged them to go all out for victory today and do the nation proud. And also leader of the delegation to Togo, NFF board member Ganiyu Majekudumi, has also assured that the Eaglets will go all out for victory today. Well, positive talk coming from Lome. Did you expect anything different given the fact that they've been given another chance to bounce back?
Yeah, if you'd ask me, I think I expect a turn, a turnaround, for the Golden Eaglets. Despite the fact that they came in through the back door, the fact that, yes.
Back door, yeah.
Exactly. The fact that, it's like an narrow escape. They had to wait for, Ivory Coast to obviously beat Ghana before they eventually qualified. So the most important thing is to, learn from their mistake and create, more opportunities of scoring goals and, doing it well against Burkina Faso, because trust me, Burkina Faso is a very good team. They've scored so many, so much goals. They've obviously considered 5 goals, they've scored 5 goals, considered just a goal, in the competition. They're doing pretty well. Aside Cote d'Ivoire, we see Burkina Faso doing very well, especially in their youth team. So we expect the Golden Eaglets, to open their eyes, shine their eyes this time around and step up, better than, yes.
And of course, the players, a very young side that we already know, and they were on the brink of elimination, like you said earlier. So given this opportunity, how much of a motivation is it, given the fact that they now know, just like Maji Kudumi, the leader of the delegation, said, he said the Eaglets knew, they are very much aware of their situation, how close they were to elimination. So it will serve as motivation for them going to this match. Do you see that happening?
Yes, it should serve as a motivation, despite everything that have surrounded what has, gone down so far, considering the fact that they had to lose and how to, draw their second game, and the fact that everyone is, every Nigerians are, are behind them, in going to this competition and doing better.
And we can also say that they lost their first match, they drew the second one. So there's this steady improvement. So obviously this third one will likely end in a win because there's a trend already.
Yes.
Can we based on that, be confident?
Yes, I think we should be confident, surrounding the fact that you just mentioned, there is a trend. At least they didn't, concede as much goals as possible. At least they obviously put in, their best, But the most important thing now is the goals they need to score. We don't need a draw this time around. We don't need,
even if it ends a draw, they have to go into penalties. Exactly. But there must be a winner, this knockout stage.
There must be a winner. So they have to have this positive spirit, positive mindset, of going to score goals. That's the most important thing, if you'd ask me.
Exactly.
And I see them, following the trend and also winning their next match.
Okay, then the coach, the quality and the capability of the coach has been called to question as well. Not actually quality, because this is coming from former NFF technical committee, chairman of NFF technical committee, Chris Green, who is already questioning the fact that the age of the coach is not what it should be. At this level of football, the modern trend is to have younger coaches handling this age grade national teams. Fatah Amor, we know, has been around for a long time. I can't actually say categorically how old he is, but he's been around for a long time and not a young man as well. But then, does it really matter?
Yeah, it really matters, if you'd ask me. We see, young coaches, taking up the job of coaching their national teams. We see, like we talked about developmental football yesterday, if there's a possibility where we can, obviously groom players, groom coaches, to create more avenue for young coaches to come up, and people who are obviously interested and have experience in the job and still, very much agile to take up this job, like international players that...
There's this talk that
Yes.
younger coaches were able to relate more with this level of players in terms of their psyche, in terms of what they do, and because coaching is not just only what happens on the field of play, psychological, mental preparations, all those things are important. So if you understand the thinking of this age category of people at this age level, you can be better. You are better able to relate with them and also offer the necessary advice and instructions that will help them perform. That is the angle some people are coming up when they question the age of the coach.
Yes, that's obviously true. There's this mental ability. There's this level playing field. Like you said, there's this possibility of understanding each other, want to do better, and possibly want to what's it called?
Giving your best.
Yes, putting your best. I'm looking for the right word. Putting your best. So seeing a young coach, doing his job well, you also want to follow in that footsteps. There's this chemistry, exactly.
Yes, indeed. Well, we won't question the coach age. All we want him to do is to ensure that the team wins today, so that Nigeria at least will be part of the Africa Under-17 Championship, which will take place in Morocco later in the year. So we wish you go the England well, and we'll be looking forward with great expectations to the result of that match later in the day. We'll take a break now, and when we return, we'll be talking about developments in the Nigerian Professional Football League. Mama Amakapabo, his team, Abia Warriors, occupied the last position, 4 matches, and they've not won any at all. And the scandalous loss to Jigawa Golden Stars 3-1 Nimoya last weekend. They have actually gotten the management of the team to take action. They've given him a 3-match ultimatum to reverse the fortune of the team. And let's see what happens from here. We'll talk about it when we return from this short break. You're welcome back, and next on the menu, we shall be looking at the situation at in Abia Warriors Football Club, Fumaya. The head coach, Imama Amapakabo, who won the league in the past with Rangers International, and also was a member of the coaching crew of the Nigerian national team, the Super Eagles, for some time. His most recent duty of the national team was as coach of the Under-23 team and also the home-based Eagles. Both of these teams actually did not qualify for the competitions they entered in, so his fortunes have not been too good in recent times. But then he has a good pedigree, having won the league in the past with Rangers International. So he pitched tent with Abia Warriors at the beginning of this season, expecting some good things to happen over there. But it has not gone so well at the moment. They've lost 4 matches. They've not won a match in the 4-week-old league. And like I said earlier, the last week's result against Jigawa Golden Stars has actually gotten the management of the team seeking answers to some begging questions. They've actually taken a decision, giving him a 3-match ultimatum to reverse the fortunes of the team. Blessing, we saw this coming because in Nigeria, normally the patience with the coaches is not as big as you expect, because somehow the latitude that they give you to perform is not as big as you want to. But then Imama Amakapabo has not started very well, and this was inevitable soon, and it has finally happened.
Yeah, like you said, Nigerians are obviously not patient, especially when it comes to the Nigerian league. And Abia Warriors, based on their performance, this season, the start of the season, losing all 4 matches, they obviously scored goals, but the reason why they concede more goals is a thing of concern. Amama
They've
really
actually
need
drawn
to.
one match.
Yes.
Yeah, drawn one match at
Yes.
least. They lost 3 and they drawn 1.
Yes, he needs
But
to.
it was the nature of their
step
loss
up.
to the Jigawa Golden Stars last weekend that actually.
3-1.
Yeah, 3-1.
Yes, he obviously needs to step up his game because no one will want to get excuses for any reason.
But this is a coach that has won the league in the past, so it's not a coach that it's a coach that we know is good. He has been with the national team as well. So what could have been happening?
It's probably he obviously needs to check why he's losing matches and look at the team. If it has to do with the quality of players or the way the matches are obviously going on, or why they have not been able to at least win any game, and obviously step up, and perform at least better in the league. Because
the sport of management is also key when you are handling a side, and also time to blend with the players. He just joined the club this season, so could it be that he needs more time to actually be able to instill his own philosophy of football on the team?
Yeah, I think if you ask me, I think he needs time, to obviously blend with the team. But how much time will he, obviously have, especially
obviously
with the patience?
not, because they're already giving him 3 matches,
Yes,
and the next 3 matches are not easy matches.
Yeah.
He has to play Ifeanyi away from home, and he has to play MFM in Lagos and go to Makurdi. No, play Ifeanyi away from home, then play MFM at home in Umuahia, then go to Makurdi to play Lobisa. These are not easy matches.
These are not easy matches for him, so he needs to really work.
And the same must win them, must win the 3. So should he win 2 out of the 3?
Well, even if he wins 2, to me, I feel it's still, much okay. Yeah. Yes, compared to the fact that he has been losing. At least there's a better improvement.
I just feel that the management just want him to put him on his toes, for him to know that, hey, we're not sleeping, we know what's going on, you need to step up your game. So with these 3 matches, I'm very sure that should the Mama Pakabo be able to at least get a result in 2 of those matches, his job will be safe. So we wish him well. This is not what we want to hear. The league is just starting, but I expected. We actually went to this season with high expectations from Abia Warriors, given that he was the one in charge, and we know he's capable of turning the fortunes of the team around. So still talking about Nigerian clubs, this time around Rivers United, their match against their Confederations Cup match against Bloemfontein Celtic of South Africa has been confirmed for the Charles de Gaulle Stadium in Port Novo, Benin Republic, on the 23rd of this month. So it's all road leads to Benin for that match. Well, Rivers United have started the job in South Africa. They won 2-0. We talked about this match yesterday. So would there be much difference, Benin, Nigeria, playing in Benin and playing in Port Harcourt?
Yeah, there won't be much difference. At the same time, there's much difference because they're obviously not playing in a pitch that they are so familiar with. They are playing in Benin Republic. So there's a difference, if you'd ask me, because one would not even tell if the pitch is even grassy or it's even synthetic. There's
I'm sure they must have done their homework to check out those facts. For me, I would have said, do you think it's necessary that the league management, the league, Nigerian league, gives them 1 week off so that they could go to Cotonou early enough so that they will at least start getting used to that place? You think it's necessary?
Well, it's necessary, at the same time not necessary too. I feel it's necessary because they should get familiar with the pitch.
Yeah, yeah, very important.
And
they are the home side, so they should they'll be more familiar with the pitch than for the Celtic.
Yes, they should be more familiar with the pitch by Bloemfontein Celtic.
But
Bloemfontein Celtic still might have the advantage of the fact that they are obviously not playing,
Yes, I know. I was coming there because I asked this question yesterday. I said they must have smelled a chance, because this match has not been played in Port Harcourt. This match is as good as a neutral venue for us. So let's see whether we can get a result out of it. Yes,
it's going to be a 50-50 thing for Celtic. But at the same time, Rivers United has also have an edge, judging by the fact that they are playing in a closer, a close state, you know, compared to Buffon Celtic. But Buffon Celtic also have an advantage in this match just because, you know, they are not playing, they're playing away from the, you know, venue they were supposed to have played earlier.
Yeah, neutral venue. So both sides, for me, it's 50-50 for both sides. So this is not home match. This is a neutral match. But the only advantage I feel that Liverpool United has going to this match is the fact that they have already done the job somehow to an extent in the first leg when they won 2-0 in South Africa. So just for them to hold their own and ensure that they don't concede only unnecessary goals, and a 0-0 draw will be enough to see them through. That's what we want. And waiting for them on the other side is Eyimba, another Nigerian team. So what this means is that come what may, the Nigerian team must be in the group stage of the CAF Confederations Cup for this year. We'll take a break now, and when we return, we shall be talking athletics. These are not the best of times for Olympic 100 meters hurdles champion Brianna McNeil of the USA. He has been provisionally suspended from athletics after being charged with breaching anti-doping rules. We shall be talking about this when we return from this break. You're welcome back. It's still the Grand Sports Center on Grand Sports Extra channels. And Brianna, not Brian, Brianna is a lady. And she is the reigning Olympics 100 meters hurdles champion, having won at the Rio 2016 Olympics. And a year later, 3 years earlier, she had already won the World Athletics Championship, which means she is an accomplished athlete in this field of endeavor, talking about the 100 meters hurdles. But then, these are not the best of times. She was said to have actually breached the doping rules that has to do, doping that has to do with testing, missing tests, because she actually had this problem in 2017 when she was given a 1-year ban for missing 3 drug tests in a year. And we know that the World Anti-Doping Agency doesn't take lightly to this. Normally they conduct out-of-season tests so as to catch athletes unawares. And if you miss this test, it means that you have skeleton in your cupboard, something to hide. So this time around, she has been provisionally suspended, and this does not. It is not good for an athlete, especially in an Olympic year like this.
Yeah, one would expect that this is a game that you obviously do from time to time, you know, and wouldn't expect you to do something that will, you know, tarnish your image one way or the other. But she's into it already, you know, so I kind of feel that...
Yeah. And this Olympic year, and as a reigning Olympic champion, you want to defend your title.
Yes,
so,
and there's a lot surrounding, you know, this doping issues, you know, and she's very much involved. I think she should probably, you know, appeal for a hearing. I don't know why they always want to be involved in, you know.
Yeah, accused like of tampering. The offense actually, what she did actually is tampering with doping control. So not too specific, not too clear. I'm sure probably, who knows, maybe they didn't say she missed the drug test, but said tampering with doping control, and that carries a 4-year ban. He's been officially suspended while investigation is going on. So, and should he be found culpable, she will go for 4 years. And we also understand that because she had already served a 1-year ban earlier, having missed 3 drug tests in 2017, she will have instead of a 4-year ban, she will have 8-year ban. Wow. That may just spell the end of her career, because she's already 29 years old.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. I mean, while involving things like this, when you have a lot in stock for you, now she's going to miss a lot of hurdle races and events. You know, these are things that you obviously checkmate, especially as an athlete, an international competitor. You know, so I think she should, you know, she probably appeal for hearing, you know.
Yeah, no, it's within her right to appeal for hearing. But even then, the ban is provisional. That's why it's a provisional ban. So the investigations are going on, and should she be found culpable or guilty, then they will now institute the ban. But then, without this ban, the mental situation or a mental state calls to question, because since winning the Rio Olympics, winning the gold medal at Rio Olympics 2016, it has not been, she has not really had it good. Like I said earlier, in 2017, she was banned for 1 year for missing 3 drug tests. And at the 2019 World Athletics Championship in Doha, she was disqualified for a false start. So it's just that since 2016, it's like our world has been falling somehow. I won't say apart, but it's just been falling and falling and falling. Now this one again. So
well, I think if she wants to continue her championship career, she should probably go for rehabilitation.
yeah,
You know, obviously check herself, you know, and know what the situation is. I'm sure she should have 1 or 2 medical, you know, advisors or people checking,
psychologists and
yes,
everything.
people should
Yes,
to
indeed,
check
yeah.
her and, you know, obviously know how to help her out of this situation, so she could, you know, move ahead and you know, have a better career for herself.
Yes, indeed. Well, only she knows what she's going through. We just hope that she comes out of it, because we want to see the best athletes in the world compete at all times, especially the Olympics, which we hope will take place this year, 2021 in Tokyo. And that is the highest level of competition for every athlete, and we want the best to be there. So we hope that Brianna McNeil gets her name cleared. She gets herself cleared of these charges and be able to compete at the Tokyo Olympic Games. We'll take a break, and when we return, we shall be talking tennis. The Australian Open will be missing some top stars, and the Murray is not sure because she's tested positive for coronavirus. And also we have the likes of Madison Keys, who was 2015 finalist in semi-finalist in Melbourne. She's also tested positive, but she's not even going at all. And the coaches of the world number 2, Rafael Nadal, Carlos Moya, and the world number 3, Dominic Thiem, will not be going to Melbourne with their players. So we already have a depleted field somehow. So let's see. We'll talk about that when we return from this short break. Welcome back. It's still the Grand Sports Centre, and the Australian Open is due to start on the 8th of February, 3 weeks ahead. 3 weeks after it was supposed to start because of coronavirus pandemic. It was shifted forward. Actually, normally starts in January, but for this year, starting in February. But then again, despite the extension, it's still going to not have all the best athletes on display. Talking about the best tennis players. Already Madison Keys, like I said, has withdrawn. The coaches of the world number 2, Rafael Nadal, and the world number 3, Dominic Thiem, will not be there with their players, which shows that we're already having a depleted field of tennis players at Melbourne. Then Andy Murray, who, although he's been a 5-time finalist at Melbourne, one of the top players, 2 recent times, she has dropped down to 123. We know for obvious reasons, because he's been battling injuries, and he's only just come back. In fact, last year he only played 7 matches, and as he battles back from injury. But then he was given a white card, and the world was looking forward to see whether he's actually back to his best. But then it's not totally ruled out. It's still not seen hopes of being in Melbourne. But with this coronavirus, anything could happen. You cannot actually put a finger that he will be there. So Andy Murray, not too sure. Madison Keys already withdrawn, and these are just early days. We still have 1 or 2 as the days go by. So generally, this year's Australian Open, it must take place, right? The organizers are hell bent on having the competition, and that is good. So despite this, the withdrawals we are seeing, the competition will still go on. I guess so.
Well, I guess so too. You know. we expect the competition to go on, but at the same time, there will be a lot of issues surrounding, especially with the fact that COVID-19 is eating up,
depleting the field
yes,
already.
Yes, and players are beginning to sign out. And Animori is a tennis player who have had this relationship, in the past. He has obviously had, a lot of issues, especially when it comes to, his family issues, issues
injuries
surrounding,
as well.
his injuries, problems, and obviously his father-in-law and the rest of it. But at the same time, I want to believe that the Australia Open will hold, and he will tend to participate in it because he has this, interest in, playing,
Bouncing back, especially after a long injury layoff, which has seen him drop to number 123 in the world. But then the organizers of the Australian Open are also been very, very proactive too. They have made available 15 chartered flights to fly players to Melbourne, and the rule of it all is that once they arrive in Melbourne, players are expected to pass through a series of COVID tests during a 14-day quarantine in Melbourne before the Grand Slam. So any player that wants to play in Melbourne will have to be in Melbourne at least 14 days before the competition starts, because they have to be on quarantine for 14 days. So that tells you that somebody like Andy Murray is racing against time. Though he's still expressing his desire to be there, but do you think he can still make it? We are talking about 8th of February, and this is the 15th of January.
Yeah,
and it's already on quarantine isolation right now. So when will you come out and fly to?
Well, I think, like you said, he has...
Should he just face fact that he's out of this year's competition?
The truth is, Murray has, a fair share of this Australian Open, as it has always been. But I think the fact that he's obviously determined, to be part of this year's edition, I think he will fight it hard. Although it might not be as easy as it is, especially with the situation of things on ground, but at the same time, I feel that Murray will obviously, make it at the end of the day. But if he doesn't make it, like you said, he should possibly, drop out.
Well, Rafael Nadal will not be with his coach at the competition because his coach refused to travel to Melbourne because of health concerns over coronavirus. Dominic Thiem, world number 32, will not be with him. So do you still expect these players to be at their best?
Wow, it's going to be a very...
Without your coach and someone,
yes.
It's bound to affect something.
Yes, there's a lot of issues, especially with this second wave of COVID-19. People are so unsure, people are being affected one way or the other, so a lot of players will not participate, due to one issue or the other. But at the same time, I want to believe that the Australia Open will still hold, and plans have already been in place, and the competition will go ahead as planned.
But interestingly, there's a player, his name is Tennis Sandgren. He's an American, he's number 50 in the world. He tested positive, but he was allowed to board the plane to Australia. Though the organizers say it has to do, his case was reviewed because he actually had coronavirus, but he has recovered, and they are treating it as a single document that it has to do with he was granted approval because it was like he had recovered, but the virus was still there. So he was not in the state of, he was not in an infectious state. That is, he wasn't capable of infecting people with it. I wonder how they reviewed it and they saw it. But then that's a lucky chap. Despite testing positive, he's in Australia. He was able to board the chartered flight to Australia. Well, that's just one case out of many.
Yes, that's luck on his part, yes. Honestly, because I don't see why a player is tested for COVID-19 and they tend to risk the fact that he still go on the chartered plane.
Yes, he said they say it's a viral shedding from a previous infection. That means he has recovered, but because he was infected earlier, the viral load was still there. That's why they said, but it was not capable of affecting people. So, well, lucky chap is in Melbourne getting ready for the Australian Open. We hope that we'll not have any more withdrawals or players testing positive for coronavirus as the day for the Australian Open draws nearer. And we hope that those that have already tested positive, like Andy Murray, will be able to recover early enough to make it down, because I know he wants to play in Melbourne. He wants to use this year to rise back to the top 10, or better still, top 50 in the world. It's now number 123 in the world, and is looking at the opportunity of bouncing back. So much about the Australian Open. We shall take a short break. When we'll come back, we'll go back to talk football. Very interesting claims coming from England. Retired referee Mark Clattenburg saying that Manchester United actually enjoyed favours of referees during the days of Alex Ferguson as manager. Well, these are very strong claims, but then we'll talk about them when we return from this short break. Welcome back to Grand Sports Center, and moving on, retired Premier League referee Mark Clattenburg has claimed that referees were biased towards Manchester United when Sir Alex Ferguson was in charge, but he says that is no longer the case. But then he has admitted something already, and confirming some allegations that were made in the past concerning Manchester United being favoured. At some point, we had what we call the Fergie time, where they say when matches are into extra time, they normally give enough time for Manchester United to equalize. Those are all allegations. Then also a number of penalties awarded to the team. That's actually what generated this present statement by Mark Clattenburg, because Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool manager, has accused referees of giving Manchester United more penalties than any other team. And the records show, though they are just one penalties more than Liverpool, but then in the last 6 months, they've had more penalties than the other 18 teams, 19 teams in the English Premier League. Well, these claims by Mark Clattenburg, of what use is it now? Are we going to withdraw the titles they won in that time?
I wonder because, I mean, we all had fun, entertainment, football during the time of Alex Ferguson. But at the same time, like you said, we won't withdraw, instead we'll live with the memory of what we, enjoyed in time past. I want to believe that, there's a lot of comments and statements based on the fact that they said Manchester United, got lots of favours and the rest of it. Well, an English Premiership club, what do you expect? More, fans from the English side. But probably because Alex Ferguson is a stakeholder with the, English.
All the clubs are all stakeholders. So I think basically, what you cannot take away from Manchester United teams in the era of Ferguson was that they played good football. That was why it was even difficult to even agree that they were favoured. Yeah. They were winning fine. You had some reasons to question some things, but then they were playing good football, and you can't take it away from them.
Players as well.
And you can't fault the fact that they won those titles creditably well, that they deserve to have been champions. In all those years, they were champions.
Yes, they are. They obviously.
But then these are claims that should not also be swept under the carpet, and moving forward, I mean, because if these things happened in the past, it should definitely not be allowed to happen again, so that other teams will have a level playing field. Yes,
that's true. I mean, with the introduction of VAR, technology, yes, and the fact that referees this time around are obviously checking, the game properly, and the fact that there's no, should I call, partiality, no racist issues, players who, have the ability to play good football, are obviously signed, and, we enjoy the game of football. There are no issues of giving preferential treatments to a particular club. I think it's just a 50-50 game. If you do well, you do well because you have the quality of doing well.
Especially as we have seen this season,
Yes.
since there are no fans, every team is like playing well. Those that play well win because it's like it's 11 against 11, and probably that's why the season has gone the way it has so far. But we have different teams occupying the top of the table at different times. The team that's occupied this week, by next week it has dropped, and that goes to tell you that it's very much more competitive. But then this statement by Jurgen Klopp accusing Man United of having more penalties is coming ahead of the clash this weekend. Both teams play this weekend in a kind of top of the table clash. Liverpool second on the table, United top on the table, and it has only made the stakes higher as we look ahead to Sunday's match. What do you think?
Well, I think it's other things I expected it to, judging by the fact that Liverpool and Manchester United are, competing against each other on the top of the table, and the fact that I obviously, don't know why Jurgen Klopp is bringing this up.
They say, McCarthy says he's copying Alex Ferguson's style, that this mind game is playing. That's what Alex Ferguson used to do in his time, that he just copied Alex Ferguson, that he's just playing mind games ahead of the match. So as the referee will be on his guard and don't give undue favoritism to either to Manchester United, or be on his guard and ensure that he does the job very well. That's what McCarthy said, that he's just playing mind games. And do you think it's all about mind games, or Klopp is damn serious about what he's saying?
Well, I think it's all about mind games, and I think it's all about, making a media statement, and the fact that we expect things like this to come up, especially before a very serious and a very all-important encounter as Liverpool and Manchester United. So these are two clubs these are two title contenders, two clubs that are obviously dragging it out on that top of the table, and it's going to be an all-important encounter. So
yes, indeed, we look forward to Sunday's match with great expectations, and we hope that at the end of the day the better team will win, because that's what we want to see. Football should be about what happens on the pitch of play, not what happens outside of it, and we hope that the issue Matt Kattenbach raised, like he said, truly no longer exists in the Premier League, because it will not be fair to the other teams. We'll take another break, and my director is telling me that we can still talk about the Real Madrid. We go to Spain, where Real Madrid actually had a very bad outing yesterday, the Spanish Super Cup, where they lost to Atletico Bilbao by 2-1. The format for the Spanish Super Cup since last year, instead of in the perennial or the normal league champions against the Copa del Rey, which is the cup champions play, they've expanded it to 4 teams. It has to do with the league champions and the team that plays second, and the 2 teams that play the final of the cup final, that's Copa del Rey in the case of Spain. So that means the champions and the runner-up, they come together to play a 4-team event, semi-final and final. Real Barcelona on Wednesday defeated Real Sociedad by 2 goals. It match ended 1-1 and they won via penalties, while only yesterday Atletico Bilbao beat Real Madrid by 2-1. Raul Garcia scored both goals, and Real Madrid, I'm sure that would have loved to win this competition.
Well, they would have loved to win this competition, but Atletico Bilbao, had the better side of that game, and they will obviously play Barcelona at the end of the day in the final. But I want to believe that even this match that Real Madrid obviously lost, I don't count it as a failure, because it's just one out of so many that they have in line, in front of them. they're still in the title race in Spain, so it's fine. And they are obviously second on the table, so there's a huge there's a huge possibility of them progressing, beyond the Spanish Cup.
And winning more silverware this season.
Yes.
But then that final match, Barcelona and Atletico Bilbao, should Barcelona win, wouldn't it be like an anticlimax somehow? Because Barcelona, we can say this season is not Barcelona. They've not been playing very well. Though they occupy the third position, they've bounced back recently. And given the way they started, when they were down, and were losing matches left, right, and center, and now they're on the verge of winning a competition. You will say that it's Super Cup, but then we just celebrated Mauricio Pochettino winning his first silverware as a coach, which was the French Super Cup, the French version of this same competition. So, trophy is the trophy. So, should the Barcelona win, how do you think it will serve as a springboard or motivation for them for the remainder of the season to now have more belief in themselves?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a motivation, and I tip it, that Barcelona is obviously going to win against Atletico Bilbao because, aside the fact that they've been having, issues in the past and they've not been, in form, but recently they've obviously been doing pretty well, especially with the likes of Messi and, quality players in the team. They've been doing pretty well this time.
And of course, away from that Barcelona Copa del Rey match against Atletico Bilbao, another match that was played yesterday was in the English Premier League, where we saw Arsenal held at home to a goalless draw by Crystal Palace. Going to this match, Arsenal were on a 4-match winning streak. They have not conceded a goal. They still did not concede yesterday, but then they could not beat Crystal Palace. Is this a derailment do you see this as a derailment of their progress, or they're still moving on? It's still part of the improvement that we have seen in them in recent times?
Well, as now, they were falling out of it, judging by the fact that they were obviously close to relegation, and,
at some
point, and we saw how they bounced back. It's not obviously going to be easy, judging by the fact that, bouncing back and trying to come, move like top on the team, trying to move like close to the top 4 and the rest of it. Although they are like 10th on the
11th on the table,
11th,
24
okay.
points.
Okay, so it's not going to be easy for them. So their game against Crystal Palace is still fine for me. It's fair enough for me. They didn't lose that game. They
and they didn't concede a goal, which shows that they are a much better team now.
Yes.
Well, so much to talk about in football this weekend. More matches to play in the league, and join us on the World League show tomorrow as we analyze most of the league matches that will be coming up this weekend. For now, we'll take a break, and when we return, we're gradually wrapping it up on the program for today, and then we'll talk basketball next, where we understand that James Harden has pitched tent with the Brooklyn Nets. Houston Rockets have traded him to the Brooklyn Nets, and you wonder why a team will allow its best player to leave already after the season has started already. If it was the off season, would have been understandable, but that maybe a higher bidder came, but the season has started and you decided to trade your best player. Harden, as you may know, has been the top scorer in the NBA for the last 3 seasons. So you begin to wonder what may have led to it, what may have led to the fact that Harden became discontented with the situation at Houston Rockets that made him rant when they lost to LA Lakers on Tuesday that the team is not good enough. Well, we'll talk more about this when we return from this short break. Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center. James Harden has been traded to the Brooklyn Nets from Houston Rockets, and like I said, they're top scorer in the NBA for the last 3 seasons. And Houston Rockets, they are second from bottom in Western Conference. What's the ambition this season? Allowing James Harden to go. We know that they had issues. He criticized the team, but could they have called him aside to settle amicably?
Well, I feel that there's more to it than what we can see at the moment. Judging by the fact that he's a good player, like you said, I feel they should, have called him aside, settle the issues amicably, instead of just letting him go. Or probably there's a better reason, for him to go. Being the fact that he's a good player, he can possibly do well, even moving to
Brooklyn Nets.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Well, the deal involved 3 teams, as it also involved the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are also part of the trade. Brooklyn Nets center Jarrett Allen and forward Tyrion Prince will move to Cleveland Cavaliers, while their guard Chris Levert and forward Redons Kuruks go to Houston. So part of the deal will see Houston also get 2 players as well, but you can't, not in the status of James Harden. Probably you feel that they'll say it's good to have a strong team made of players that are committed than having just one big star and not having a strong team. Could that be the angle for where they're coming? Because I'm still trying to make sense of this decision.
Probably they have their reasons why, they made, this decision. Like you said, maybe they want to make a strong player, or maybe James obviously, has made the decision.
Yeah, that's another angle to it.
To leave.
So there's no amount of. Yes. I'm sure that they must have sat him down to try to convince him to. I'm sure. But when his mind is made up, players at this level, they get their way. He just signed just in 2017. He signed the richest contract in NBA when he signed for renewed his contract with Houston Rockets. Reportedly worth $228 million. Well, I'm sure that he'll get in something more at Brooklyn Nets, because they always go for the highest bidder. But anyway, this is so much about James Harden. We wish him best well in his new team, the Brooklyn Nets, and also wish Houston Rockets well. They're second from bottom. This is not the best in the Western Conference. This is not a good position. I hope that they're able to pick up and get back to winning ways. They've only won 3 matches this season so far. Not good enough. So much about basketball. We'll take another break and we'll come back. We're wrapping up on the program with the Super Eagles Watch. Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center. Next is Super Eagles Watch, and quickly, because we don't have much time on our side, Ojo Ighalo's contract with Manchester United comes to an end by 31st of January, which is the end of this month. So we're already looking at other possibilities. We understand that a number of Italian clubs are interested in signing him. TW's report that a number of clubs have made inquiries about signing Ojo Ighalo, and also, there are proposals coming from Qatar and Saudi Arabia. So everybody wants him. He's a good player, but somehow he's not been able to have playing time at Manchester United, and we understand why. Presence of quality players in Manchester United, but that does not in any way diminish the capabilities of Ojo Ighalo. We know on a good day he can deliver. He himself is talking about playing in the MLS. He says that for now he's with Manchester United. His contract with Chinese club who are his main owners, talking about Shanghai Shenhua, will end at on the 31st of December this year. So he's on a 6-month loan with Manchester United, and but then after that loan, he said that he goes back to China. But he's saying that if opportunity comes in the MLS, which is the American Major League Soccer, he will be interested in playing there. So we wish Ojo Ighalo the very best as he charts a new path for his career. Ike Ugbo is a player in the news recently. He pledged his allegiance to Nigeria to play for Super Eagles of Nigeria. He is on loan from Chelsea at Belgian club Cercle Brugge, and his goal has been voted the goal of the month, the goal of the month in December for his team, Seco Brood. Actually scored his second goal in Fort Brood's 4-3 loss to Sporting Chelara on the 15th of December. And that goal has been voted by the club as the goal of the month for the month of December. So many good things happening to this young man who has already scored 10 goals this season for his side, and he says he wants to play for Nigeria. I hope Kenneth Roy is watching and keeping tabs on him. Napoli manager Gennaro Gattuso is very happy. For the first time, he's talking positive about Victor Osimhen, says he's recovering very well. He has started running, which means in the not too distant future, we'll get to see Osimhen back in action. So as you may recall, Osimhen picked up a shoulder injury when he came to play for Nigeria against Sierra Leone in November. And since then, he has not played. When he was about coming back from injury, he tested positive for coronavirus, which also delayed his return. So for now, Gennaro Gattuso says everything is going well, and they hope to see him in action very, very soon. Paulo Onuachu, we always get to talk about this guy. He's the man in the news in Belgium with 19 goals, and the top performing Nigerian player as far as I'm concerned in Europe at the moment. He was recently, just yesterday, we reported that he came third in the poll for the Player of the Year in Belgium, which is the award for the best player in a particular year. So for 2020, he came third in that poll, which is a very, very good achievement. And his club is already celebrating him. Despite he didn't win it, but he came third, the club is celebrating him and with a very, very big statement. They say they value him more than just like they value gold. So they value him as gold, which means for them it's very precious. So Paulo Onuachu, we hope that will continue to do well for them. Finally, on Super Eagles Watch, Grande former Super Eagles striker, has touched the lives of his people as he has built a health facility in his village, and this is very good. I must say, I hope that more players will begin to look back and put back into the society. So kudos to Emmanuel Emenike, who was part of the Super Eagles team that won the African Cup of Nations in 2013 in South Africa. That's the much we have for you on Super Eagles Watch for today, and also the much we have for you on the program Grand Sports Center. We hope you've had a nice time with us. We'll be back same time, same station on Monday, because the program is from Monday to Friday. So on Monday we shall return with another interesting edition, and we'll always be looking forward to having you join us. I want to thank Blessing Bassey, who has been the Lone Ranger today with me. Thanks for your incisive views on the topics we've discussed.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
And I'm Donald Agbavobo on behalf of both of us and the entire production crew, who I will always tell you are doing a very good job behind the scene. Have yourself a lovely weekend.